Imagine the very first moment a camera starts rolling on a Marvel set. The lights, the silence, the excitement in the air. Now imagine that set belongs to Spider-Man, a hero who has carried generations of fans through epic battles, heartbreaking losses, and unforgettable victories. The very first day of filming Spider-Man, Brand New Day, isn't just another start to another movie, it's the birth of a brand new era. What secrets are hidden behind the camera flashes? What new challenges wait for Peter Parker this time? And most importantly, why is Marvel calling this story a brand new day? Day one on a Marvel set is never just about calling action. It's about building a foundation for a film that millions of fans across the world will be watching, rewatching, and dissecting for years to come. With Spider-Man, Brand New Day, that feeling is even stronger. Marvel is not just making another sequel, they are reshaping Spider-Man's journey, giving him a new direction after years of battles with villains, losses of loved ones, and countless sacrifices. The cast and crew arrived on set buzzing with energy, each of them knowing they're not just working on a blockbuster, but on a story that could redefine Spider-Man for the future of the MCU. The first day is about tone. It sets the style, the rhythm, and the emotional heartbeat of the film. For the actors, slipping into costume for the very first time isn't just about looking like the character. It's about becoming them again, or in some cases, for the very first time. For the director, every shot, every angle, every detail is carefully considered because these early choices become the DNA of the story. Behind the cameras, the atmosphere was filled with both nervousness and excitement. Crew members whispered about the sets being constructed, with some saying the design looked darker and more grounded than before. Whispers of a new city backdrop spread through the team, suggesting that Peter Parker might not just be swinging through familiar streets, but exploring new environments that will challenge both his strength and his identity. Fans who have been following Marvel's breadcrumbs know this isn't just a continuation of old stories. It's a reimagining of Spider-Man's place in the Marvel universe, and the title itself, Brand New Day, is more than just a catchy name. In the comic books, this phrase marked a shift in Peter Parker's life, where his world was shaken and nothing was the same as before. The film seems to be echoing that legacy, promising to bring fans into a storyline where Peter has to rebuild from the ground up. Day one filming reflects that idea perfectly. The sense of starting fresh, of leaving behind the past, and of moving into uncharted territory. The first shot filmed wasn't a battle scene or a massive stunt, but something smaller, more intimate. A moment designed to ground the story in Peter Parker's humanity before launching him back into the chaos of being Spider-Man. The director knew that fans might come for the action, but they stay because they care about the man behind the mask. That's why the emotional tone of the first day was so crucial. It's not about explosions and swinging across skyscrapers yet. It's about remembering who Peter Parker really is, and why his story still matters in a universe filled with gods, aliens, and multiverse threats. Day one may seem like just another day of filming, but in reality, it's history in the making. Every set photo, every leaked costume detail, every whispered rumor from that day sparked speculation among fans across the globe. For Marvel, this is the heartbeat of the movie, the start of something that could change the way we see Spider-Man. Forever. The first look at any Marvel set is like peeking into a secret world. Everything is carefully hidden, every corner wrapped in mystery, yet the energy in the air tells you that something massive is about to happen. On day one of Spider-Man, Brand New Day, the atmosphere was exactly that, a mix of excitement, nerves, and pure anticipation. The set didn't feel like just another movie location. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter in Spider-Man's life. The crew worked with an intensity that only Marvel Productions can bring. Cameras were adjusted, props were moved, and lights flickered across carefully built structures that hinted at something bigger than what the audience has seen before. From whispers among those present, it seems Marvel is building a backdrop that isn't just New York's familiar skyline. Instead, there are hints of fresh environments, possibly a different city or an unexplored side of Peter Parker's world. The streets looked grittier, more grounded, with textures and details that made the set feel alive. It was as though Spider-Man's Story was being placed in a world that felt closer to real life. But with Marvel's signature cinematic magic, what stole the spotlight, however, were the costumes. Even though Marvel tried to keep them under wraps, Day One brought small glimpses of updated designs. Sources whispered about a slightly redesigned Spider-Man suit sleeker, with subtle changes in color and pattern that symbolize a shift in Peter's journey. Marvel understands that Spider-Man's costume isn't just clothing, it's a statement. Every stitch, every line, and every emblem carries meaning. If the rumors are true, then Brand New Day will present a suit that reflects both maturity and change, showing that Peter Parker is stepping into a new phase of his life as both a hero and a man. The cast arrivals made the day even more electric. Tom Holland, once again stepping into the shoes of Peter Parker, walked onto the set carrying the weight of expectation, but also the confidence of someone who knows this character like no one else. Those watching closely could see his focus. This wasn't just another role, this was him helping shape the future of Marvel's most beloved hero. Zendaya was also rumored to be present, sparking excitement about how her character MJ would continue to fit into Peter's evolving world. Every arrival, every moment of preparation fueled speculation online, as fans tried to piece together what kind of story Marvel was building. But it wasn't just about familiar faces. Rumors of new cast members hovered in the air. A few names had been whispered in Hollywood circles, and while nothing is confirmed, fans are convinced that new allies and new villains are about to make their entrance. On Day One, even the smallest glimpse of a mysterious actor stepping onto set was enough to send shockwaves through social media. Marvel thrives on this secrecy, feeding fans just enough to make them wonder while holding back the real surprises. For later, even the way cameras were set up told its own story. Insiders say the very first shots focused on Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. A quiet scene, grounded and human, showing that the heart of this film begins with Peter himself. It's Marvel's way of reminding fans that behind the mask, behind the web-slinging action, is a young man carrying the weight of responsibility. That choice on Day One was intentional. It sets the stage for a story that will be as emotional as it is action-packed. And then there were the details only the sharpest eyes could catch, small symbols painted on walls, props that looked ordinary, but carried the kind of design that Marvel loves to turn into Easter eggs later. Even the lighting choices suggested a darker, more mature theme. Every detail seemed to whisper that this isn't just another Spider-Man movie, it's a reset, a rebirth, a chance for Marvel to surprise even its most loyal fans. Day One of filming wasn't about revealing everything. It was about planting seeds. The cast stepped onto set, the cameras rolled, and in that moment, the future of Spider-Man officially began. For the fans, these small glimpses are enough to ignite theories, debates, and endless excitement. For Marvel, it was a promise that what's coming in Spider-Man, Brand New Day, will be bigger, bolder, and more unforgettable than anything we've seen before. Every Spider-Man movie is remembered not just for its web-swinging action, but for the people who bring the story to life, the characters who challenge Peter Parker, inspire him, or break him. On Day One of Spider-Man, Brand New Day, the spotlight naturally turned toward the cast, both the returning heroes and the rumored new faces stepping into this universe. And if the whispers and early signs are true, Marvel is assembling a lineup that will reshape how we see Spider-Man's world. Tom Holland, of course, remains at the center. His return as Peter Parker feels less like an actor stepping back into a role and more like a hero continuing his legacy. Over the years, fans have watched him grow from the eager young Avenger desperate to prove himself, to a broken figure at the end of No Way Home, left alone with his identity erased. Day One confirmed what many suspected. Holland isn't just playing Peter Parker anymore, he's carrying the emotional weight of a character who has lost almost everything and now must rebuild from scratch. The first scenes filmed reportedly emphasized this transformation, showing Peter not as the cheerful neighborhood hero, but as someone quietly navigating the cost of his choices. Zendaya's presence on set added even more layers of intrigue. After the heartbreaking ending of No Way Home, where MJ no longer remembered Peter, fans were left wondering if their love story was over. but her return suggests otherwise. The chemistry between Peter and MJ has always been the emotional heart of these films, and Marvel knows that. Day One whispers hinted at early interactions between the two, subtle, cautious moments that could either spark a reunion or build the tension of two lives pulled apart. If true, audiences might be in for a love story that feels both fragile and powerful, one that forces Peter to choose between duty and desire. But the biggest excitement comes from the new faces. Marvel has always thrived on introducing fresh energy into Spider-Man's story, and Brand New Day seems determined to follow that tradition. Though Marvel has not officially announced who the main villain will be, early speculation exploded when a certain mysterious actor was seen near the set. Could this be the introduction of a new foe? Some fans believe it may finally be the time for villains like Kingpin to take center stage, especially since Marvel has been weaving him into other series. Others point to the possibility of classic Spider-Man rogues like Hobgoblin or Chameleon making their big-screen entrance, and then there are the fan theories about allies. Could Spider-Man meet other young heroes, laying the groundwork for a new Avengers-style team? With Marvel moving into the future, the chances of Peter Parker crossing paths with rising stars of the MCU are higher than ever. Day One didn't confirm these theories outright, but insiders hinted at carefully guarded contracts and actors whose roles remain top secret. In Marvel's world, secrecy usually means something explosive is on the way. One of the most interesting details that circulated from the first day was about Peter's suit. Subtle changes in the design weren't just cosmetic, they might be story-driven. Some crew members hinted that the modifications could be connected to a new villain's abilities, forcing Peter to adapt his technology and fighting style. If true, the costume itself becomes a symbol of Peter's growth, an armor not just for battle, but for survival against threats unlike anything he has faced before, of course. Casting choices in Marvel films are never random. Each actor, each role, each reveal is designed to serve both the current story and the larger MCU. Day One filming proved that Brand New Day isn't just Peter Parker's journey, it's Marvel's next step in tying Spider-Man to the wider universe. Fans who study Marvel's patterns know what this means. Cameos, connections, and crossovers are always in play. By the time the first day wrapped, the cast had already given audiences plenty to talk about. Familiar heroes returning, beloved relationships, tested, new villains lurking in the shadows, and the possibility of shocking surprises that Marvel is saving for the perfect reveal. The beauty of Day One was not in answers, but in the questions it left behind, questions that will keep fans debating, theorizing, and dreaming until the movie finally hits theaters. Asterisk behind every Marvel film lies a guiding hand, the director, who shapes not just the action on screen, but the soul of the story. With Spider-Man, Brand New Day, the creative vision is what fans are most curious about. Marvel isn't just pushing another Spider-Man sequel onto the slate. They're aiming to reinvent what this character means in a post-No Way Home world. From the first day on set, it was clear that this movie's tone was going to be different, more mature, more grounded, and more daring. Insiders from the production team hinted that the director's approach isn't about recreating the old formula of quippy jokes and flashy action alone. Instead, the focus is on Peter Parker's humanity. Day One began not with an explosive stunt or a high-flying sequence, but with a quiet moment, an emotional beat designed to remind audiences that Peter is not just a superhero, he's a young man trying to rebuild a shattered life. This choice sets the tone for the rest of the film, signaling that Brand New Day will balance the spectacle fans expect with raw, human storytelling. But Marvel productions are never without their shadows. Rumors, leaks, and whispers always swirl, and Day One was no exception. A few blurry set photos began circulating online almost immediately, sparking theories that fans dissected frame by frame. Some claimed they saw hints of a redesigned Spider-Man suit, darker in tone, reflecting Peter's struggle. Others swore they spotted props that hinted at new villains, graffiti symbols, coded numbers on street signs, or mysterious figures lingering in the background. Whether these details are intentional Easter eggs or clever misdirections, They've already ignited debates across fan communities. There are also persistent rumors about Marvel planting seeds for future crossovers, with Spider-Man now fully woven into the MCU. Fans speculate that this film could set up appearances from characters in upcoming projects. Theories range from Daredevil stepping into Peter's story to connections with the broader Avengers saga. Day One didn't confirm any of this outright, but Marvel has a history of hiding big reveals in plain sight, letting fans guess while keeping the truth under lock and key. And then there's the question of villains. Whispers from the set suggest that the story may feature more than one antagonist. Marvel knows Spider-Man's rogues gallery is one of the richest in comic book history, and fans are hungry to see new faces brought to life. Could it be Kingpin, now cemented in the MCU through other projects? Could it be Chameleon with his ability to change identities, forcing Peter into a battle not just of strength but of trust? Or maybe even a deeper cut from the comics a villain fans least expect? The lack of clarity on Day One only added fuel to the fire, leaving audiences desperate for answers. But beyond leaks and theories, what truly makes Day One so powerful is what it represents. In filmmaking, the first day is symbolic. It's the moment when ideas on paper transform into reality. Actors step into costume, directors call their first action, and suddenly, years of planning come alive in front of the camera. For a franchise like Spider-Man, that moment carries even more weight. Fans know they're not just watching another movie get made, they're witnessing history. The birth of a story that could define the character for the next decade. Every detail matters on Day One. The way the cameras move, the lighting choices, the energy of the actors. Even the mood on set becomes a sign of what's to come. Marvel understands the gravity of this, which is why the secrecy around Brand New Day has been so intense. They don't just want to tell another Spider-Man story, they want to surprise, shock, and inspire, and that's why fans should pay close attention to the smallest details from that first day. Because Marvel has a pattern, the first day of filming often includes moments that later become iconic. Think back to the early production of Iron Man, Captain America, the first Avenger, or even the first Spider-Man. Homecoming. Small leaks from those sets eventually revealed key clues about the direction of the films. Brand New Day is no different. The first look may not tell the whole story, but it plants seeds that fans will spend months, maybe years, uncovering. By the end of Day One, nothing earth-shattering was officially revealed. No trailers, no giant press announcements. But that's exactly how Marvel likes it. The power of Day One lies not in giving away secrets, but in creating anticipation. The story is just beginning, and fans know that every passing week will bring new glimpses, new rumors, and new reasons to get excited. Spider-Man, Brand New Day has only just taken its first step, but already it feels like Marvel is building towards something unforgettable. So why does Day One matter? Because it's the promise of what's to come. It's the spark before the fire, the calm before the storm. And for Spider-Man fans, it's the beginning of a journey that could redefine what it means to be the world's favorite web-slinger.